18 years old that I wanted to spend time empowering people who look like me, women specifically, to utilize their voices and advocate for themselves. I first want to just go on the record stating that all racism is not created equal. I think that some people have an idea of very explicit racism. I have been in meetings with parents, non-Black parents, and shared an opinion on something to where I later received an email from a non-Black coworker who essentially gave the parent permission to move in a way that I did not authorize. I have also been asked about my hair on a very regular basis, and although that's sometimes flattering, it can also be fairly offensive. I've also been asked if it was okay to refer to students of color as Blackie in a very casual conversation with a colleague, which she laughed, and I wasn't quite sure where that came from or why that was appropriate. As far as racial equality and social equality, or racial justice and social justice, we absolutely discuss those things in my counseling lessons here in our middle school. We have programs like Step Up, Step Back, and a lot of times what that does is allow students to grasp a better understanding and perspective of those who don't look like them or maybe came from a different background. I also think that it's awesome that here in Durham we have an Office of Equity Affairs headed by Dr. Daniel Bullock, and they come into our schools and provide professional development on a very regular basis. I can see the change in several staff members. They are also beginning to include these sort of lessons about racial justice and social justice in their classrooms, and it's pretty hopeful to hear. I think that it's awesome to watch our youth. I'm simply encouraged by them. Over the past couple of months, I've watched them gather to host peaceful protests. I've seen them organize on social media. I've seen them, their posts become a lot more socially conscious, which is amazing and really rewarding as an educator to see that they're deciding to use their voices for good. I think that I'm a part of a generation that has said enough is enough. And although some of these changes may feel uncomfortable, we might see things that we haven't experienced in years. A lot of times the news these days I feel like looks a lot like what the news looked like back in the 60s. I am very hopeful. I think that change is happening. It may not be as fast as I want, but I do think it's happening, and I do think that people are starting to look inside themselves a lot more and become a lot more aware of how their behavior, their actions, their words are affecting others. And I'm really excited about the changes I'm seeing.